Today we will be talking on hormonal basis of happiness. Now there are many facets of happiness and they all contribute to our overall health and happiness. It is widely accepted that hormonal influences contribute to the subjective feeling of happiness. Mood and emotions are just two of many psychological processes that hormones, the body chemical messengers, help to control. And in terms of hormonal underpinnings of the happiness, the hormonal underpinnings, which is called as serotonin, often known as happy hormone, plays a major player. The brain produces and secretes it control the emotions, hunger and sleep. The neurotransmitters, that is serotonin, has been linked to improved the states of happiness and contentment. The low serotonin levels have been linked to negative mental health outcomes like depression and anxiety. The dopamine is another hormone that has been related to the feelings of contentment. Dopamine is the reward hormone because it stimulates the positive emotions and the behavior. It's released in response to positive events, and it also helps to maintain the actions that leads to those positive outcomes. Dopamine levels tends to rise after rewarding experiences, such succeeding at a goal or feeling a surge of enthusiasm. The natural opioids called dorphins contribute to both the physiological basis of happiness and the relief of pain. The physical activities, including the exercise or the laughter, they trigger the release of these hormones. The release of endorphins is associated with a state of exhilaration and the well-being known as the runner's high or the laughter effect. Now the love hormone, that is the oxytocin, plays an important role in forming and maintaining the relationships between the people. The hugging, the cuddling and performing the acts of kindness, they all trigger its production. The oxytocin strengthens the interpersonal bonds and encourages a sense of community by increasing the feeling of trust, empathy and the joy. The complex interplay between our emotions and the chemical signals in our bodies is illuminated by our growing knowledge of hormonal underpinnings of happiness. Realizing that hormones play a part in our state of happiness, which allows us to investigate the methods for enhancing this particular state. Yes, we are talking about happiness. The activities like exercise and mindfulness, the meditation, they can all help increase the serotonin levels. While strengthening the social bonds, they can also increase the oxytocin and the pursuit of rewarding the goals, and the pastimes can increase the dopamine levels. And in this talk, I will go into greater detail about the hormones that contribute to happiness, as well as some concrete steps that we can take to improve our hormonal health and our outlook towards the life. The hormones hold a very key role to a happier and a successful existence, and we may use them for our advantage. So let us now talk on the positive emotions and how they are associated with the hormonal well-being. The positive emotions, they have a profound impact on our overall well-being, including our hormonal balance. And when we experience the positive emotions, our body releases various hormones and neurotransmitters that contribute to the feeling of happiness, contentment, and overall well-being. So here are some key hormones which are associated with positive emotions and their particular effects. So the first and the foremost is dopamine. The dopamine is often referred to as a feel-good hormone, and it is associated with pleasure, reward and motivation. When we experience something pleasurable or rewarding, such as achieving a goal or receiving a praise, the dopamine level increases, leading to a sense of happiness and satisfaction. We must have seen a beautiful smile on the face of the people who are standing first in the race, who are standing first in academics. So such kind of happiness is because of the release of dopamine, which is a feel-good hormone. Second, we are talking about the serotonin. Serotonin is often called as a mood-regulating hormone. It helps regulating the mood, the sleep, the appetite, and the social behavior. Increased level of serotonin are associated with the feeling of happiness, relaxation, and of course, the general well-being. The low serotonin levels, on the other hand, are linked to the conditions like depression and also the anxiety. The third is your endorphins. The endorphins are the body natural painkillers and the mood boosters. They are released in response to a physical activity, the stress or excitement. The endorphins produce the feeling of euphoria, reduce the stress and anxiety, and promote a sense of self-being and the well-being. Next, we talk about the oxytocin. The oxytocin is often called as a love hormone or a bonding hormone because it is released during a social bonding activities like hugging, cuddling, and positive social interactions. It plays a very crucial, critical, and a catalyst role in building the trust, forming the social connections, and promoting the positive emotions like love, empathy, and generosity. The positive emotions such as happiness, joy, gratitude, love, they all trigger the release of these hormones. And when our body produces these hormones, they can have a range of beneficial effects on our well-being, including enhanced mood and overall happiness. The reduced stress and anxiety levels, they improve the immune system function, increase the resilience to adversity, the better sleep quality, the strengthen social connections and relationships. There is also increased motivation and productivity. It's very important to note that while positive emotions can have a positive impact on the hormonal well-being, the relationship between the emotions and the hormone is a very complex and multifaceted. Hormonal balance is influenced by a number of factors, including the genetics, the lifestyle, the environment, and of course, the individual differences. So there are a number of factors which are responsible for these kind of emotions, that is, we are talking about the hormonal well-being and its correlationship with the happiness. So there is no single factor which can contribute to this. It can be because of the genetic part, lifestyle what we are leading, the surroundings which we are in, and of course the individual differences which are because of our birthplace, which are because of our caste, creed, religion, where we are brought, our life journey, our employment opportunities, and everything related to individual. Now, it's always best to adopt a holistic approach to the well-being, incorporating the healthy habits like a regular exercise, a balanced diet, the quality sleep, and of course, the nurturing the positive social connections, alongside cultivating the positive emotions to support the optimal hormonal balance and overall well-being. Let us now talk on the sense of purpose, accomplishment, and fueling the hormonal well-being and of course the happiness. A strong sense of purpose and accomplishments can indeed play a very significant role in fueling, increasing the hormonal well-being and of course promoting the happiness. When the individuals have a very clear sense of purpose and achieve their goals, there are several hormonal and neurochemical responses which occur in the body, leading to a positive emotional states and overall well-being. Here are some number of ways in which a sense of purpose and accomplishments can impact the hormonal well-being and happiness. The first is the dopamine release. Accomplishing goals and fueling a sense of purpose often leads to a release of dopamine in the brain. Dopamine is associated with the feeling of pleasure, the feeling of reward, and the feeling of motivation. When we achieve something meaningful to us, whether it's a personal goal, a project at work, or contributing to a cause we care about, our brain rewards us with the surge of dopamine, reinforcing the positive behavior and emotions and of course the hormonal happiness. The second is your endorphin release. Now pursuing a purpose-driven life and achieving the goals can also trigger the release of endorphins. The endorphins are natural painkillers and mood enhancers. They are responsible for the runner high experienced during intense physical activity and are released during the moments of accomplishments, contributing to a sense of euphoria and overall well-being. Then we talk about the reduction of stress hormones. Engaging in activities which are aligned with one's purpose and experiencing a sense of accomplishments can help reduce the levels of stress hormones such as cortisol. The chronic stress can have a detrimental effect on the physical and the mental health. So lowering the cortisol levels through a positive experience, it is beneficial for the overall hormonal balance and the well-being. Next we have is the oxytocin release. A strong sense of purpose often involves social connections and helping others. The act of kindness, collaborations, and altruism can lead to a release of oxytocin, the love hormone, which produces and promotes the feeling of trust, empathy, bonding. Now these social interactions, they actually contribute to the happiness and the emotional well-being. Next we have is a serotonin boost. A sense of purpose and accomplishments can actually contribute to increase the serotonin levels in the brain. The serotonin is involved in regulating the mood, and the higher levels are actually associated with the feeling of happiness, contentment, and overall emotional well-being. Next we have is the enhanced self-efficacy. Working towards and achieving a meaningful goals can boost the self-confidence, the self-efficacy, the belief in one's ability to succeed. Now this positive self-perception can actually lead to a reduced feeling of anxiety and increased happiness. Having a sense of purpose and accomplishing a meaningful goals can create a very positive feedback loops. The positive emotions and hormonal responses from achieving the goals can further motivate the individuals to set and pursue the new objectives, leading to a very fulfilling and a happier life. It's very essential to recognize that a sense of purpose is highly individual and it can vary greatly from person to person. And some may find a purpose in their careers, while others may discover it in the personal relationships, hobbies, volunteering, and pursuing a passion. Cultivating a sense of purpose and setting the achievable goals that align with one's values can have a profound effect on hormonal well-being and the overall happiness. Next we talk about is the influence of perspective and the mindset on hormonal well-being and happiness. Perspective and the mindset, they have a significant, substantial, increased, high level influence on the hormonal well-being and of course the happiness. How do we perceive and interpret the events and the circumstances in our lives? It can deeply impact our emotions. It can deeply impact our thoughts and ultimately our hormonal responses. So here are how perspective and the mindset can influence the hormonal well-being and the happiness. Next we have is a stress response. Our perspective and mindset, they shape how we perceive and respond to stressors. A positive mindset and optimistic perspective can really help us view the challenges as the opportunities for growth rather than the threats. Now this can lead to a more adaptive stress response and a reduction in the stress hormones such as cortisols. By managing the stress effectively, we can maintain a better hormonal balance and promote the emotional well-being. Now coming on to the emotional regulation. The perspective and the mindset, they play a very crucial role in emotional regulation, positive perspective, and the resilient mindsets which allow us to regulate our emotions more effectively, reducing the impact of negative emotions on our hormonal balance. Let us give an example. Practicing gratitude and focusing on the positive aspects of life, they can promote the release of hormones like dopamine and serotonin, enhancing the happiness and also the well-being. The third is your self-compassion and self-esteem. Now, adapting a positive perspective and nurturing a growth mindset, they can foster a self-compassion and healthy self-esteem. The self-compassion involves treating oneself with the kindness, understanding, acceptance, especially during the challenging times. It allows for a more positive and supportive inner dialogue, reducing the self-criticism and the negative self-talk. So this can positively impact the hormonal well-being by promoting the release of oxytocin and reducing the stress hormones. Next we have resilience and adaptability. A positive perspective and the growth mindset, they contribute to resilience and adaptability. The resilient individuals, of course, are better equipped to bounce back from all types of adversities, from all types of setbacks, and of course they embrace the change and they find the solution to all types of severe challenges. Now, by approaching the difficulties with a positive mindset and viewing them as opportunities for leading in growth, we can mitigate the negative impact of stress on our hormones and overall well-being. Next is your positive social connections. Now the perspectives and the mindset, they also influence how do we perceive and interact with others, shaping our social relationships. Now coming on to what are positive perspectives. Positive perspectives are very important for hormonal happiness, and the positive perspective is having a positive mindset towards every angle and every walk of life. It fosters the empathy, the kindness and cooperation, leading to a healthier and more fulfilling social connections. The positive social interactions, in turn, they promote the release of oxytocin and enhance the hormonal well-being. Next, we will talk about neuroplasticity and mind-body connection. Our mindset and the perspective can influence the neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to adapt and change. By cultivating the positive thoughts and perspectives, we can rewire our brains to focus on the positive, leading to a more optimistic outlook and enhanced well-being. Additionally, the mind-body connection, it suggests that our thoughts and emotions can influence our physiological responses, including the hormonal regulations, the positive perspectives and the mindset, and can thus contribute to a more balanced hormonal state. So thus this kind of a connection is actually very, very important. When we regulate the hormones, the positive perspective mindset can actually contribute substantially to a very balanced hormonal state. So in the end, we can say it's very important to note that cultivating a positive perspective and the mindset is actually a process that requires the practice, the self-awareness, and of course, the strategies like mindfulness, cognitive reframing, changing the way you think, the positive self-talk, self-love, and seeking a social support. They can really help in shifting the perspective and promoting a more positive mindset, which can lead to an improved hormonal well-being and of course the overall happiness. So we have to say that this neuroplasticity and a connection between the mind, body, soul can actually have a very positive outlook and enhance the wellness, which is a hormonal wellness, and of course the happiness. Thank you so much.